My name's Professor Paul Readman and I work at King's College London, and for the last 6 or 7 years I've been directing a project on historical pageants in 20th century Britain.
And you're down here in Axbridge today because I understand we're the last one standing in terms of pageantry.
Yes, Axbridge is probably the last major historical pageant in its classic form standing at the moment.
And you're having a look at how they put the costumes together and everything like that behind the scenes, is that right?
That's right. We're very interested in how pageants were organised and the amount of volunteer effort and labour that went into putting together these great spectacular events. And so today, with partners with the Windrose Rural Media Trust, we're filming people at work making the costumes for the pageant at Axbridge.
And what other aspects that really particularly you find fascinating about behind the scenes? Because there's quite a lot, from horses to tractors to all sorts of electricity.
Just the sheer organisational effort, really, I think, is particularly interesting. How these things are organised, how people are motivated to be involved over such a long period of time, entirely, free of charge, if you like, free labour. Why they do it. The committee structure and the organisational sort of, I guess that's also interesting. They're more or less elaborate, aren't they? In the earlier pageants, you had huge committee structures, often involving members of the great and the good in the local community, often having guarantee funds, people putting their own money behind the event and guaranteeing the event such that if it made a loss, they would stump up the funds to cover it. So I guess that's what we're interested in, and I guess why people are involved, how they get involved. How do you motivate people to get involved, to reenact or to be involved in the reenacting of a community's past? What motivates people?
So it's not just the way they interpret their own history, but also that social aspect of the community coming together to stage it.
Yes, that's right. And who in the community? So a lot of earlier pageants had great difficulty, for example, mobilising men, either as organisers but more particularly as performers. That's certainly true, for example, in Carlisle, that staged a number of pageants in the 1950s, 1951, and again in 1977. Male performers were notoriously hard to come by, to the extent that they actually had to use young girls as British soldiers for some of the scenes.